I knew there was a problem with that. Well, we had to talk over in that neighborhood back when the school first proposed spending all that money there. But money at the time was no object for the school. But at any rate, we did not, I knew there was an issue with some of the traffic. Just the traffic pattern, the way they have that horseshoe design coming out and in when you're coming off Cuba there. I mean, it's just ludicrous how they have that design. But I'll be more than happy to post a sheriff deputy there as often as it takes, as per our newsletter, to let people know we are watching. And I will post one there, definitely. And if there's additional signage that we need, or even a law, we could even probably lower the speed limit on that circle.
There's 2 20-mile-an-hour zones. Now, I checked with the New York State safety instructor, which is in the town. He's certified by New York State.
Right.
And he said that is a recommended, the hour is recommended at 20, but it isn't imposed. But he said if a sheriff or some patrol person thinks that they are going beyond, even though it's 21 miles an hour, they can be then speed ticketed.
Right.
Well, the thing of it is, we've been very nice. I talked to a couple of people there first and say, hey, give us a break. You know, we're a bunch of walkers. A lot of people walk this area, but they don't care. They think it's a joke. They think we're nothing. To produce this too, there's a retired professional, I don't want to give her name away, lives on Side Road, okay, who's retired from school board, okay, and she says she hates to see these people roughshod over us as if we're nothing, okay, and see, it's not just the people who live right nearby, it's people who live in the whole neighborhood area. There's a lot of walkers.
Yeah, you know what I'll do? Our sheriff deputy, Ryan Brzezinski, and I can go over there tomorrow, probably, and take a look at maybe some additional, and again, I'm not just saying code of signs. I mean, look at what the signage is like, what the speed limits are like, the town can adjust those, and we can absolutely post a police car over there and start writing tickets. They don't always get the message. When you give them a courtesy visit, they do get the message after they get a couple tickets.
Well, you know one thing, they won't have to chase them, okay?
Right.
Because there's always 2 or 3 girls that come late, okay? And they go down Niagara Road. It's between 8 and 8:05 to be exact, and there's 2 white SUVs, okay?
Give me more details.
I don't know their ages. I don't have binoculars. I don't watch them that close. But I know enough to stay the hell out of their way, I'll tell you that. Because they're going to be to work against the 8. The sheriff won't have to chase any of these people.
Right.
All he have to do is gather all the tickets up and then just drive down to the parking lot, which is right next to the school, and just put the tickets on the windshield.
Russ, is there a stop sign where Schiltz Road kind of makes a bend?
No.
There's
one coming in.
There is no stop. There's a 20 mile an hour.
It's not a 90-degree, but it's
almost, it's slightly curved there, very slight on that particular area. If you go straight ahead though, we have had cars in the past going too fast. There's a tree right in that little, see where I have those 3 X's? There's a tree there that looks like the letter B has been hit head on by cars in the past.
Let me ask you a question for the neighbors there, all of you. Do you think, I know one of our Niagara Road residents would be mad if we put stop signs up, but if, do you think stop signs would be helpful or no?
They go right through it. I have a lady and her thing 5 consecutive days. Once in a while I can see, oh boy, I do a stop sign, okay? But every day when she comes to work at 7:20 to 7:25, okay, she's the first one down there. It's a red Jeep. She blows that stop sign like nothing. Everybody knows it. Everybody watches out for her. Do we have to bend down to the queen, as she's called in the neighborhood, and all the little princesses that are now there, and the knights? Who's the queen? The superintendent.
Oh, I know her. She's certainly one of my favorites.
I can imagine. You would definitely have her entertained, that's for sure. And you would send gold to her.
No, you're going to have to beg long and hard to get me to write her a ticket.
Our school tax, they're really going to go up. She's got.
Well, he's right. She's very, very, very vindictive. She said,
you think?
She said she would hate to see the wrath that she would receive from this situation.
Well, wrath goes two ways, and I think if I were, I'd pipe down. We're bigger.
Okay.
But I will post a police car there with pleasure, and we will make sure that things are noted, and we will make sure we'll issue tickets accordingly, and there'll be no exceptions.
Well, I have cars, license plates, and things that
If you could supply that to my sheriff deputy as well, Russ.
I will.
Matter of fact, why don't we, if I get hold of Ron, if not tonight, tomorrow, maybe we can stop by your house and we'll go through.
No problem.
And we'll stop around the neighborhood and see what we gotta do.
Right. Thank you for your.
Okay, we'll do it. You'll see us. You'll see us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, you also gotta tell them people in that neighborhood when they're walking, that they don't walk in the middle of the road.
Well, no, we don't.
Oh, yes, you do, don't tell me that. I went down there, that's why I said it.
Good, I'll tell you.
I went down, that's why I said it.
The white line that's on the road, you know what that means, the white line? That's a safety zone. I checked with the New York State law because I was within the white line. If you are on the white line, that's the shoulder of the road, and it is not to be used by a vehicle. Even though people do it, it's not to be
I'm
done.
not talking, I'm talking about the people walking in the middle of the road, not the white line on the side
I
of the road.
doubt if you see that in my neighborhood.
I've seen it, that's why I'm saying it. I didn't say it otherwise.
Well, it does, I mean, people do tend to walk, depending on some of the road conditions are not conducive to walking on the side, riding a bike on the side. I was going down Maplewood Road today into Pendleton, there were people riding their bikes about a foot or two inside the road lane of the white line, but they couldn't safely ride on the shoulder because it was
I
all
understand that.
potholes. So there are extenuating circumstances, but I think, you know, I don't think the residents are trying to be unreasonable, but I think people know, or should know, those who operate motor vehicles, especially those who deal with children, should know that pedestrians do have the right of way.
Exactly.
Yes, Maureen?
I hope you're as concerned about all the kids and people who walk and ride bicycles, whatever, along Eric Road where there's a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. And it's not a recommendation, it's a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. And there are plenty of people who go through there.
I know.
But if you want to put 240 more houses in there, I can tell you something. There
Well,
won't be
Maureen, thank
people
goodness
walking
nobody
around the
here
block
wants to
anymore.
put 241 houses. Nice try. We have patrolled Eric
I'm talking
Road.
about the
Jane and Craig call
20-mile-an-hour
us all the
speed
time
limit
to
around
put
the
our...
corner, please.
Maureen, please. That's bull, because we do put cars there. We have done it. Nobody up here is, don't wrap your little 240 homes into turning it against the public when it comes to a school issue.
It's not a school
It's
issue,
bull,
it's a safety
bull.
issue on the
We
corner
do
of
patrol Eric
Road.
Road, and we do put up stripes there, and we have put up signs there.
I know you put up
Yes.
signs, it's not patrolled though.
On the same issue.
That's a school board member, just so everybody knows where that's coming from.
I'm proud
Go
to be a
ahead.
school board member, and I'll relay those concerns on to Judy, because I don't think that if
You can
somebody...
relay anything you want to Judy Howard. Go ahead.
I'll do it professionally in a letter, sir. That's the way we do business.
No, you don't. I've dealt with your superintendent many times. She is not a professional.
We don't
Go
talk to
ahead.
her at all, sir.
On the same issue, I called your office about 4 weeks ago when I got that newsletter.
Yes.
I live on the end of Blossom Lane,
Mhm.
Wheatfield Heights, where that little dead end, and there's a full stop there. Somebody's gonna get killed because that full stop doesn't even mean yield. They go around that corner 30, 35 miles an hour, and there's little kids across the street, they're gonna run out one of these days. And, you know, I'll tell you, nobody makes that full stop. Nobody. I do, but nobody else does. And I wasn't home, but a sheriff called my house, and my wife answered the phone, and he said, well, we'll give a warning. Nobody should get a warning going through a full stop. They should get a ticket. And
Oh, I agree.
And I'm still waiting to see if sheriff's car go around that area. This is 4 weeks.
Right. And that is a good point, but I gotta tell you, when that newsletter went out, we had a lot of requests from a lot of neighborhoods. We've had the police cars out. I think a lot of people have seen them. They've seen more of them. We have posted them. We've done it at different times. We can't be everywhere at once.
I know.
But I guarantee you, we will be there. And I think what Ron was telling you is he and I did the phone bank and talked to all the residents. And what we're gonna do is make sure we have a presence known as best we can. I think we're gonna get the coverage we need, but we just started the program a month ago, and I think you're gonna see more presence and more tickets.
Believe me, if he sat at the end of Somerset, he'd get writer's cramp. Because he couldn't write tickets fast enough, people
Right.
going through that full stop.
No, I know, and again, like I said,
I don't think the full stop should be there. Let me say that. in that area, it doesn't call for a full stop. Because that road is a dead end coming out of my driveway there. You know,
Right.
that should not, I don't know why they put the full stop there, number one. But it's there and it should be obeyed. And it should
I
be
agree, and
enforced.
I will ask Ron about that. I know that he had talked to you, or at least called
He
over.
talked to my
so-
wife.
Right.
You know, but that's not a warning, it should be a ticket. But somebody gets killed going through full stops.
Right. We will do that. Yes?
Going back to the person taking pictures, the homes on Maple.
Yes.
What was the purpose of that? And what
Well, that is, you know, the assessor's office does annual updates. And there has been a request as a result of the state and a few other people to have the town of Wheatfield do a full reval, which the town board isn't prepared to do. Because number one, I don't think everybody understands what a reval can or cannot do, or what it is. So what we've asked the assessor, and the assessor has always, previous, not just this assessor, but everyone previous, has done a regular update. He'll target, when I say target, I don't mean that in a bad way, but he'll look at specific homes in different areas, especially with our house sales, and he will make adjustments in the computer, almost like you would during a grievance policy or during the assessment board review policy. So he does that on a regular basis. He sometimes hires people to take the photos or to help assist him in that thing, but as far as, and right away, you know, and we've had this before over the years, people say, is there a reval going on? There is not a reval, the board has not voted on a reval, but you will not be getting a letter saying, we're coming in your house.
Sunday.
Right. So they are out there, unfortunately. You know, assessors are like Big Brother, always watching. And of course, when a building permit is issued, they're right at your house, again, figuring out how much value you're adding. So, you know how assessors are. We don't have a whole lot of control over assessors as a board, because that's their statutory position to do certain things and do upgrades regularly. So, but it does scare people. I mean, with all the talk in Amherst and in Lockport and Pendleton and all that about revals, there's a lot of people who are concerned about it. And this town board said we are not going to support reval. Russ?
One other question, one of the neighbors also had a problem there, so I just want to make sure that you had not appointed the superintendent of schools as a quality air control specialist or an EPA specialist or anything in that particular quality. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that she does not have this thing, because one of the neighbors, they had a little bit of fire, okay, and the smoke went over there, they called the sheriff on them, okay? The person then said, fine, no problem, they stoked it up, and if you know anything about small campfires or fires, all you do is let the air in there and the smoke is gone, no problem. While doing this, okay, just to make sure everything would burn, they picked up some of the material that was right nearby, okay, and put it on there, okay? Again, the Board of Education, and we traced the call back, okay? Called the sheriff a second time, claiming they're putting more on the fire when they weren't. So if these people are so busy and have so important jobs over there, I understand now that they are not the EPA. Because I want to know if I can light up my grill. Because sometimes I buy that cheap chicken from Tops, you know. And the grease, you know, goes down. And the smoke, and if it goes down the neighborhood down there, do I get the sheriff at my door for this?
I
Thank
can
you.
smell it in my house, I'll call the sheriff. That's a good one.
Thank you, Russ.
It's the truth. Hey, would you do that, or would you walk over to your neighbor and say, hey, you know, can you lighten up the smoke a little bit? Or would you be, the hell with him, I'll show him who's boss, I'll call the sheriff.
I move to pay the vote.
It's been moved and seconded. On the question? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, resolution adopted. And Larry, did you have a motion to go into executive to discuss the water department?
Yes.
And who do you want to include in that?
Town board, Bob Walker,
And town clerk
town clerk.
and the town attorney?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll entertain that motion, Larry, if you want to make it.
I did.
Oh. Do I have a second? Jill, second.